Viewers, buckle up, because Thursday, August 14th on The Bold and the Beautiful promises the kind of tension that makes you lean forward in your seat and hold your breath. Questions about loyalty, love, and the dangerous game of the heart are about to erupt. Taylor Hayes is starting to dig, and what she might uncover could shatter everything she's been holding on to. The Italian trip may be over, but its shadows are still stretching across Los Angeles, and one particular moment between Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan might be the most explosive of all. Taylor Hayes has never been a woman to dismiss her instincts. And lately, those instincts have been roaring in her ears like alarm bells. Something happened between Ridge and Brooke in Italy, something far more intimate than just polite conversation. She replays the snippets of what she's heard, the way Ridge avoided certain details, the subtle shift in his tone when Brooke's name comes up. Her mind won't stop circling the same questions. Why did I let him go alone? Why wasn't I there beside him? In hindsight, every choice feels like a mistake. Italy wasn't just a trip, it was a backdrop made for romance, and Taylor knows Brooke well enough to suspect she'd seize any opportunity to get close to Ridge. There's an unspoken fear lingering in Taylor's heart, the kind of fear that gnaws quietly at your confidence. That somewhere among the glittering canals and winding streets, Brooke didn't just catch Ridge's attention, she rekindled the part of his heart that Taylor has been fighting to claim. And Ridge? He knows exactly what happened, because he was there in that charged, breathless moment. He kissed Brooke, not out of impulse, not as a meaningless slip, but in the aftermath of pulling her from the water, saving her life in an instant of raw heroism. The adrenaline, the relief, the rush of gratitude, it was the kind of moment that strips away logic and lays bare the truth between two people. Now Ridge stands at a crossroads. Part of him knows he should tell Taylor about that kiss, confess it and face the storm. But if there's one thing The Bold and the Beautiful has taught us, it's that plans rarely survive the weight of emotion and consequence. Ridge may hesitate, convincing himself it's better left unsaid. But secrets have a way of poisoning relationships from the inside. And even if he does gather the courage to speak, Taylor may cling to denial. She might brush it off as nothing more than a fleeting, heat of the moment, lapse. Something born from chaos and fear, not a deliberate betrayal. She could tell herself the diamond ring on her finger is worth more than a single kiss in a foreign country. Yet her own words betray her insecurities. When she looks Ridge in the eye and says, "She has a future, but not with you. Because I'm not taking this ring off," she's not just making a promise, she's drawing a battle line. That defiance is as much for herself as it is for Ridge. For Ridge, ending things with Taylor isn't as simple as following his heart. This isn't just about guilt, it's about compassion, responsibility, and the shadows of their shared past. Taylor's been battling serious emotional strain, and whispers of broken heart syndrome hang over her like a fragile glass ceiling ready to shatter. Ridge knows he's been the cause of her deepest wounds before. The thought of adding another fracture, of seeing her collapse under another heartbreak, ties his hands. That's why, even though he can feel the pull toward Brooke like a tide he can't fight, he's forcing himself to tread carefully. A sudden, brutal breakup could devastate Taylor, and Ridge doesn't have the stomach for delivering that kind of blow. Instead, he delays the inevitable, telling himself there might be a way to soften the landing, a way to step away without destroying her. But in his heart, he knows the truth. Every day he waits, the tension grows, and the future he wants with Brooke drifts just out of reach. No matter how you slice it, the story feels written. Ridge Forrester and Brooke Logan's paths are destined to merge again. The events in Italy didn't just hint at it, they practically carved it in stone. But in the world of The Bold and the Beautiful, destiny never arrives with a neat little bow. It lingers, it teases, it makes you wait while the tension coils tighter and tighter, until the smallest spark can set everything ablaze. Right now, that spark is still hovering just out of reach. Ridge is holding back, Brooke is waiting in the wings, and the audience knows it's only a matter of time before the dam breaks. But just as the road seems clear for their reunion, a familiar shadow steps into the frame. A man from Brooke's past who isn't ready to let her slip away so easily. And his name is Nick Marone. Nick Marone arrives with a presence you can't ignore, that smooth, confident swagger of a man who believes he knows how this story ends. He's utterly convinced Brooke Logan will say yes to his proposal, and why not? They share a past steeped in romance, a marriage from 2006 to 2007, and a son, Jack Marone, who's now a grown man. To Nick, these bonds are proof that history can repeat itself. But longtime viewers know the numbers, and numbers don't lie. 1 brief marriage to Nick versus 8 with Ridge. That's not just a difference, that's a dynasty. Ridge isn't just another love interest. He's the gravitational pull Brooke always drifts back to, no matter how far she strays. Nick's confidence comes wrapped in nostalgia. Memories of the time when Brooke was his, of a life they once tried to build. But nostalgia can be dangerous. It tricks you into believing the past holds the same power it once did, when in truth, the present has shifted. And with Ridge fresh off a life-saving rescue, the emotional battlefield may not be as even as Nick imagines. And that rescue, it wasn't just dramatic. It was transformative. When Brooke toppled from the boat into those unpredictable Italian waters, Ridge didn't pause to think, didn't hesitate to weigh the risks. He dove in. He cut through the waves with single-minded focus, every movement fueled by instinct and something deeper, love. He reached her, pulled her from danger, and in that moment, the rest of the world fell away. There were no engagements, no rivalries, no years of back and forth. There was only the man who saves her and the woman who trusts him with her life. For Brooke, it was a reminder of the unshakable bond they share, a bond forged through decades of passion, heartbreak, and forgiveness. For Ridge, it may have been the moment he stopped lying to himself about where his heart truly lies. Moments like that don't fade with time. They echo, growing louder with every beat of the heart. For Nick, the reality is brutal. His charm, his shared history with Brooke, even the son they have together, none of it can fully erase the decades of love and connection she has with Ridge. Brooke's refusal to accept his proposal isn't meant to wound him, but it's an undeniable sign. Her heart is still pointed in one direction, and it isn't toward him. For Taylor, the truth is even harsher. She's still wearing Ridge's ring, but the emotional commitment behind it is already fractured. She may not see it yet, but the man she loves is standing on the edge, looking toward someone else. Every day that passes, that invisible clock ticks louder, counting down to a moment she may not be ready for. And when it comes, the fallout won't just break hearts, it could shatter lives. Brooke Logan isn't just making a choice, she's staking her entire future on one man. By rejecting Nick Marone's heartfelt proposal, she's effectively sliding all her chips across the table, placing her bet squarely on Ridge Forrester. It's not a move made out of recklessness, but out of conviction. In recent months, Brooke has rekindled a belief in destiny, a belief she had almost lost after years of heartbreak and missteps. Now, she clings to the one fact that keeps her hope alive: Ridge hasn't rushed to marry Taylor. That hesitation is her proof. To Brooke, it's a silent signal that somewhere deep inside, Ridge still belongs to her. But make no mistake, this is a dangerous game. Brooke knows the risk. She could be left standing alone if Ridge chooses to stay in his engagement. Yet, this is Brooke Logan we're talking about, a woman who has fought for love across decades, defied the odds, and weathered every scandal the Forrester world could throw at her. For her, love isn't something you wait for timidly. It's something you chase, even if the road is steep and the outcome uncertain. And so, the stage is set for a collision of hearts and egos. Taylor's suspicions are no longer whispers in the back of her mind. They're a growing storm, demanding answers. Ridge stands frozen at the crossroads, torn between compassion for Taylor's fragile heart and the passion he can no longer deny for Brooke. Nick enters the fray with the confidence of a man certain he can rewrite history, but may soon discover that the past doesn't always bend to our will. And Brooke? She's doubling down on a love story that has outlasted betrayals, separations, and time itself. But here's the question that will keep fans glued to their screens. Will Ridge finally break free from the guilt binding him to Taylor? Or will hesitation cost him the chance to reunite with the only woman he's ever truly loved? Will Nick retreat with grace, or will he push harder, igniting a fresh war for Brooke's heart? And when Ridge and Brooke inevitably find their way back to each other, what will be the price? Who will be left standing, and who will be left shattered in the aftermath? One thing is certain: this isn't the end of the story. In The Bold and the Beautiful, the most dangerous moments always come right before the final twist, and this twist could change everything.